Hi guys, it's GreenVeil Gaming, welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this visitor centre in Minecraft. I've had a few suggestions to do something like this, so without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the basics, just the outline. So as we can see, I've done this side already. I'm going to do the other side so you guys can see how to do it. Now this is the basic visitor centre, this is the small one, this is the one I'd recommend you build in survival. If anyone wants a video where I build a bigger one, I might do that, but considering how long this video is going to be, that might be a while. So maybe we work on the outside here. This is the curved bit where the fountain is. You can see here where we've got the door. We're actually going to lay out here where the... I don't know if fountain's the right word, but you know what I mean. Where that bit is. Where the garden, that's it. We'll call it the garden. That's where that is. So we've got that laid out, and now we're going to do the full circle. Well, it's not really a circle. The full shape around there. So you can follow this here block by block. So we go like so. And then we come to the next bit, which is this weird dip that it has in it. I'm not sure why it goes in like that, but it does. So we got to recreate that, and you can see me here checking, wondering how long that is. And some sheep. So we do that. And then we start moving down. We come fully round there. Let's go on. Another tip: if you're building this in survival, I'd recommend you build this with stone and not quartz. If you build this, we're using quartz because it looks nicer, close to the hill. But if you use quartz in survival, if anyone remembers Jurassic Park, when I used to do that, it took a million bloody years to get any quartz. So don't do it. Right. So now we're working on the actual steps up to the doorway and the actual fountain itself. So we're using stone slabs for the steps in the walkway, so up to the door. And now to actually work on the walkway, so we're going to raise it up using these slabs. Just because it looks nicer. Then we're going to build up a layer. And while we're at it, we can also build up where the walkway will be. Then we use another slab. Build up again. Now, this is the first time we've done this, so this could be the most boring video ever, so I apologise. But we'll see, Anyways, we go along there, and now for the actual layout of the fountain. So, as we can see, it gradually flows down. So we have two up here, and then build a little platform there, so it goes down nice and nicely. But first, we've got to fill in the bottom, obviously, because you don't want just grass. I suppose in survival you could just leave it as grass, but we're not going to. And now I've got to work on the plants, because there's a line of plants next to the water. And if we're building a more detailed one, we'd actually separate that off, but we're not, so yeah. Let's place our water, turn it to day so we can actually see, and we place the water there, and there we go. Nice fountains. And now we can move on to the actual wall. So as you can see, we're going to work on the big, grand doorway, which has terribly small doors because we don't have big ones. And we build up. And now, for this bit, I'm using the fossil blocks, which, as you can see there. But you wouldn't have to. But before we do that, we've got to finish the door. It goes way higher than the rest of the actual wall. And as I said, we're using the fossil blocks from fossil archaeology, but realistically, you could use any block you want there if you're not modded. I'd say stone or cobble also works, or maybe stained clay, whatever your personal choice is. So that's the doorway done, and now onto the actual wall. So there's 3 sets of windows we need to build. And it's 2 wide for each window. I think that's right, 2 wide. So we go along here, windows are each 5 tall. You could, again, with this, you can add your own interpretation. You can use any kind of glass you want. I just went for normal glass, but you could use stained, I suppose. Grey or black stained glass might look better, actually, but we're just going to use glass for this one. Build up that, and then add the top bit. Yeah, I'd recommend building scaffolding as well if you get this in survival, because you'd probably fall to your death off this. Oh god, I'm remembering all the times I fell off the visitor centre back in Jurassic Park. Anyway, next thing we try is there's a little, to stop you falling off, we need to have the fence around the top now. This is in the film, but I'm not actually sure why it's in there, because we never see anyone go on the roof. So as you can see, we just add a slab, so we have a bit of overhang, a bit more detail, and then finally we've got the fence. You can use any fence you want. I think acacia might look pretty nice, but we're just using the normal standard wooden fence. And now we replicate the same thing on the other side. I really should stop building these at night. I really should make sure it's a day all. And so we move on to the next step, which is doing the slope. Because if you look at the actual walls of the Visitor Centre in the film, it's a sort of a slope up it. So what we do here is we get our stairs. So we're using quartz for this, you can use whatever you want. And we do 2 layers. So the first one's about 3 down, and we leave this middle bit here. We don't do it there. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could, but it'd look a bit weird. So just the view, just to show you what it looks like all the way around. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to build this piece by piece. I'm just going to transition here, and you can see what it looks like. And there we go. So all the way around, and now we can move on to the roof. Start with a grand rotunda, as it is. I believe that's the right term. So this is the grand circular cone that we see in the Visitor. It's pretty much the most iconic thing. Now, for the sake of this, I'm using hay bales, but you can use wood realistically. I think when I used to build this a lot, I used to use wood. So essentially here, we're constructing 2 separate, constructing a cone within a cone, basically. So if you look carefully, the outside of the cone is like the thatch, whereas the inside of it is actually white, as if it's been painted. So for that, we use the quartz, and this also helps us here because when you place hay in this, you have to place it a certain way to get the right look. And so we go up a layer. This bit we're going to do piece by piece because it's a bit complicated. So you can watch me place each individual block for this bit. So we go around, nice and circular, well, as circular as we can get in Minecraft, obviously. And then we repeat the same process again. So we get the quartz layer. And then once we get that done, which we nearly have, yeah, I need to speed this up next time, we add another layer of the hay. So as you can see here, we've got a 3 block tall rotunda so far. And that's the point where we move on to the next bit, because as you'll see in a minute, there's a bit more of this design than just the hay. Now, as I say, if you just wanted to keep it all hay, I suppose you could, but we're not going to. We're going to be authentic. So once again, we add another layer of quartz, but this time we're placing glass on top of it. It's, as you countless have seen, if you watch, countless isn't the right, but if you've seen when you watch the film, you notice that there's these windows. So we've got to add those in. So roughly each one of them is 2. Roughly. And as you can see, I messed it up there. And I just go back and fix my stupid mistake. And there we go. And now we just add the glass in. Pretty easy stuff. And now with that added, we move on to the next layer, but once again, we've got to add our quartz. So this time we're using slabs, not the full blocks, because we still want the windows there, but we need to have a layer on top for the hay. So we just put a nice layer around there. As you can see, if you look up, it creates a pretty good effect, I'd say. If you had 2 blocks, I suppose it would look better, but we'll see. So then we add our layer of hay on top of that. As you can see, the size is gradually getting smaller, so we're nearly there. And time for yet another layer. Now this bit, this second part of the cone, is divided into three, I think? Yeah, three. This bit, we only go up 2 lots of hay, so just filling in the last bit here, and you can see we go in slightly, and we add our hay. That's why we have to have quartz underneath. That, as you can see there, the hay sort of turns. It's complicated. So that's how Minecraft physics work, I'm afraid. There we go. And now we move on to this level where, once again, we add our quartz, so we can move on to the glass. Obviously, this second window is going to be a fair bit smaller than the first. So what we do is, we get our quartz. Imagine you're making 2 L shapes, well, 4 L shapes, an L shape on each side. Then you put your glass there. Whoops. Glass there, and repeat. There we go. Once again, we get the slabs out. Nice and easy. And then we add our quartz yet again. Not quartz. Hey, I don't know why I said quartz then. And as I'm sure you've guessed, we're just going to go full slab. Hey, hey. And there we go. The main roof is done. And I think that looks pretty damn good. So now we can move in. And there's a look at the actual roof from underneath. Now then, we're going to work on the actual balcony. I've had to get a night vision potion so we can actually see. So if you look at the visitor centre, you notice there's a little overhang for the roof. This is the roof of the balcony that they walk up on in the film. So we're just going to construct this. Pretty simple. We sort of follow the curve of the roof. Yeah, I'm making the sound easy, but I'm not doing a very good job at explaining it, but it's not that bad. And we add some meat here, and we build. It has a texture to it, so we're using jungle with this. I think it's the closest fit to what we have in film. But if you were, say, building this in a normal forest, you could use oak or whatever would suits you, really. Acacia might not look bad, actually. And I think I just messed up. Yeah, I did. And so we go like so, and repeat all the way around. Yeah, I think if I ever do this again, I think I'm going to be cutting a lot of this out. Or finding some way of speeding up the footage. One or the other. Right, there we go. And now we can move on to the next thing. So, first off, we've fixed up our mistake here, because I actually realised I'd made that a bit too thin. So what we do is this. We're just going to add to it. Not too difficult, not a huge difference. And we do this all the way around. Run 1, always check your plan. And we're going to thicken this bit up as well. And there we go. And just behind here, this is where the wall's going to go for the actual room. This is like the main hallway, so that's where the back wall is. And you can just see me building this down. Yeah, should have just cut this back. And we're running out of night vision potion. Great. If this has taught anyone anything, it's that we're not very good at doing this professionally. Right. Next up, so we've filled in the roof, and now we're going to work on the 2 little towers that are each side of the main rotunda. These are just like they have a similar design roof, but we're not actually sure what the function is of them. And in this design, I've actually just left them where you can't get into them, but I suppose you could build a way to get into them somehow. Or 2 guys, really. So we go like this. We have a glass window, and we follow the same basic design all the way around. Not too difficult, just a fairly simple design. Repeat that all the way around, except on the bit where the actual hay of the roof intersects with it, I guess. Is that the right word? I don't know. Where it meets with it. That's a better way of describing it. There we go. And so we do the same on the other side. And now we move on to the actual roof. So for this, once again, we're using the hay. I didn't have this as well planned out, as you can see. So we go all the way around. There's a bit of an overhang. As you can see, yeah, I should have planned this out a bit better. Planning, the Achilles heel of GreenVeil Gaming builds. Probably. Yeah, I think I should teach myself editing. That's the main takeaway for this series. And there we go. And now we're going to fill in this bit so I can actually build the next bit without having to do what I just had to do there. That wasn't a good description. There we go. So just build up another layer. Now this one, this doesn't have the dividing glass bit that the other one has. So we can just build all the way up with the hay. And you can see my OCD kick in here when I do that. Make sure all the hay is facing the same way. Oh, God. And build up another layer. And time for the final two. There we go. And finally, the last bit on the top. There we go. And I think that looks pretty good. And now back to the inside. So we're finishing the actual wall of the main hallway. So from the back we go along two and then build up. Then we have just 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. Now I suppose if you were building this you wouldn't have to leave the main hall in, but we're trying to make it accurate to the film, so we're going to actually have it in. So here we go. Then we do a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, do I do 6? No, just 5. And then we go 2. And then we do the... This bit's also optional here, but we've got to close off this bit from the rest of the building. So we go 1, 2, 1 again, and another 2. And there we go. And now I've built up the pillars. This is where this is to lay out where the actual balcony that you can walk on is going to be. So we have 1 pillar here, 1 here, 1 there, and I think that's it. I could be wrong. No, that's it. So now we'll actually lay out where the balcony is meant to be. So we've got some stairs, adding some detail in. I think I'm leaving. I think I was considering leaving that bit, but nope, we're going to do it. So we go across, and we try and match it up. There we go. And I think we leave the middle bit out, because that's where the actual staircase is going to go, so we'll leave that to last. Well, not quite last, but till later. Now we just replicate the same thing on the other side. And we just fill in this bit here, because we don't want anyone jumping off the edge. Unless you're into that thing, of course. I apologise for making that joke. Right, there we go. Now onto the actual staircase. Now, this was a bit of a nightmare to lay out, so I kind of just did it off screen and decided we just showcase what it looks like. So we've got that, so as you can see, we go up by slabs and half slabs, and we'll now actually put in the actual bit where you stand on. So we've got 2 there, then we go up. As you can see, it's like a grand spiral staircase, but Minecraft and spirals don't go well together. That's something you've got to learn. Minecraft does not go well with spirals or circles of most kinds. So, and I've just realised I've put this one block too low, so we're gonna build that up. And that's the height for the whole balcony, basically. So just build along here. And then we go down. And then I get a bit confused, so we go back down to here so we can sort of match it up. There we go. One. Then I kind of screwed up there. Yeah, I did. There we go. Oops, never mind. There, now we're sorted. All done. So that's the stairs. So now, I believe we are done. So we've got the whole visitor centre completed, but we can move on to a few little extras. So for anyone who's really observant in the film, you'll know there's actually a side entrance here, which we're not sure what its purpose is, other than that this is where the T-Rex comes through and kills the raptors at the end of the film, in the grand finale, so to speak, as we all know. So we're just breaking open a hole here so we can put it in, and I'm going to have to break the floor now and build up the little slope so we can actually get in. There we go. Then one. Nice and easy. I really need to put some lights in here. Now to the next thing. You saw over there where the prototype for the novel visitor centre was. We're now gonna. There's actually a disabled. I'm assuming it's disabled. It's like a sloped entrance to the visitor centre on this side. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a disabled entrance. So we're just gonna fill this in, even though in reality it's basically the same design as the stairs. So it doesn't really work. But let's not think about that. And there we go. And it's turned to night again. And I forgot to fill in one of the towers. Whoops. Right, there we go. So now we have it. We have our completed Jurassic Park Visitor Centre basic version. This is a hell of a lot longer of a video than I thought it was going to be, but we got it done, and I think it looks pretty nice. And we're just going to have a little look inside where hopefully there's some lights now. So we'll just make our grand way up to the stairs, and I think I put lights in here somewhere, and now we can walk all the way up here onto the balcony and look out over the rest of the centre. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking through the whole video. If you made it this far, well done. If you want to see any more builds like this, tell me in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.